The government shutdown kicked the can down the road to next March. In the meantime, expect to hear a lot of economic nonsense. Let me help you by explaining some of the upcoming discussion. Let's start with balanced budget. The government has an annual budget. It's balanced when revenue equals expenses, money coming in equals money going out. This hardly ever happens. In fact, in the last 50 years, the only examples were 1969 and 1998 to 2001. Trump promised to balance the budget, but he didn't. Not even close. Promise broken. When the budget isn't balanced, when expenses exceed income, the government has to borrow money to pay those extra expenses. That borrowing increases the national debt. Congress has placed an upper limit on the national debt, which is called the debt ceiling. That ceiling cannot be exceeded without another act of Congress raising it. Trump wanted Congress to raise the debt ceiling or abolish it altogether, but Congress rejected Trump's request. So that will have to be considered sooner or later, probably sooner. If Congress does not raise the debt ceiling, the government will not be able to borrow money to pay expenses Congress has already authorized, and the government will go into default. Most economists think that would be a catastrophe, not only making the cost of future borrowing higher because the government's credit rating would drop, but also causing a recession and perhaps even a depression. But shouldn't the government's budget always be balanced, and isn't increasing the national debt unsustainable? At the end of 2001, the national debt was just short of $6 trillion. As of today, it's nearing $34 trillion. Quite the increase, right? But Chicken Little, the sky hasn't fallen. So when you hear the congressional and media flat earthers chirping that our level of debt is not sustainable, ask them how they explain how we have survived the last 20 years of unbalanced budgets, increasing debt, and demand. They tell you exactly why more debt will finally be the straw that breaks the camel's back. And don't take "it's just not sustainable" for an answer.